This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
The recording has started. Hello and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burger of Pits.
Philmy, and Perich.
Hello, Philip. It's good to have you back once again.
I thank you.
For Superconnectivity. Okay.
It's nice to be in Mr. Esser's neighborhood.
I'm trying to be a little low key. A little low key.
Low key?
It's coming. So let's just throw out the baby with the bathwater and talk about this week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Did you see Patrick Warburton with his
Charlie Esser
almost
mustache?
Perfect mustache? It gets better 3 years later.
Nice. Yes.
I love that they were that committed to it. It's like, no. Don't give it all away in the first moments. Yeah. Patrick Warburton talks HR with Ming-Na Wen. I'm sorry, Melinda May. And clearly it's like, oh, okay, so this was something Charlie Esser would like. Oh gosh, that was a good episode, and is interesting within the suggestion that all of this is meaningless. Because essentially what happened, which is sort of the weird side aspect of all of this, which was that at some point the Chronicoms realized, well, wait, we're all here. There's no reason to prevent S.H.I.E.L.D. from rising. We can just conquer this world now.
Yeah.
So what do we care about if we're maintaining this time stream? We actually are actively destroying the time stream. Now, the interesting question is can the time stream be repaired? Which is this is the quantum mechanical question first addressed in the Incredible Hercules with Amadeus Cho and Hercules discussing time, which is one of my pet favorite theories of alternate universes. Is in there they suggest the idea that, well, you can have alternate futures and alternate presents. You can also have alternate pasts. The idea that there is a past, and many things have happened in the past, but within that they may all come to bottlenecks, where the past and present become one thing. In the same way that you have, as is established with sliding times, certain events being brought forward because they just have that weight in the stream of time. If we are to imagine a flow of time, which strongly this current storyline imagines, and the idea that once the Chronicoms leap, the S.H.I.E.L.D. team has to leap, or at least the Zephyr has to leap. In that structure, you have what is essentially this idea that time is flowing, time is slipping, time is dragging things. And in this idea that if time is an actual elemental force outside of the universe rather than simply a linear progression like a film strip, which arguably time is, because time is malleable. And we know this just from Einsteinian relativity, that time must be malleable. Time is an actual dimension, not just a construct or an idea, but is actually something that flows through things. In that idea and in that structure, then time may not be immutable, or more importantly, can circle back to the point where it's meant to be, which is the Captain America paradox. Which means it doesn't matter if S.H.I.E.L.D. attempted Project Insight in 1973, so long as it fails. It doesn't matter that Sousa died in 1954, I believe, if he doesn't reveal Hydra. that the thing that needed to happen was that Hydra didn't get revealed, and
Sousa
gets taken off the table. That the situation changes. And then, as was called out by Sousa in this, so does that mean I never died? And you guys just always went back in time and brought me forward?
Yep.
And then, and this I think is the telling thing, which is my mark my words, because Sousa says, I think this is the last time I'm jumping with you.
Mark my words.
Because whatever you guys are doing, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And it is 1976, and my theory of Sousa with a robot leg and maybe some infused superpowers. Because you know Nathaniel Malick, who is clearly the bad Malick.
Huh?
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, it was like, oh yeah, they keep Wilfred Malick and his elder son alive, expressly because they were actually just the worst people to be in charge of Hydra. They were actually going to fail at their jobs. And they can't let Gideon Malick get into it, because if Gideon Malick becomes head of Hydra, then things progress the way they're supposed to. So they got to keep Gideon on the back burner. They have to keep everything moving forward in the way they want it to. And in that is this idea of playing the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents against them. So it's a brilliant idea. It's a brilliant concept. And where it goes next is the question. And it is an interesting question, to say the least.
I just love the little details, like when he saw the 1970s computer. Wow, look how high tech that is.
Oh, well, see, that is the obvious detail.
Yeah.
The interesting detail. So here are two super interesting details that I picked up in this episode. First, did you see the name of the beer?
No.
It's Bendery.
Oh.
Like Bender from Futurama, which I just love. I don't know if that's the actual intention of it is, but to me, it's like, yeah, that seems like a Futurama reference. Then the big, the huge, the monumental anachronism in this episode. When the barmaid opens the beer, it's a 1970s style beer can, but when she opens the beer, she pulls up on the tab and pushes it down. Those weren't around in 1976, man. It was still pull tabs.
Maybe originally.
That's going to affect the timeline.
Exactly. Oh, you know what I love?
How many more turtles are alive because we didn't throw pull tabs into the ocean?
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to be overrun by a race of super intelligent turtles, or possibly the Submariner now.
You know what little detail I loved? The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the 70s had those blue and white jumpsuits.
Do you know what detail I loved about that?
What?
They're baggy.
Yes!
Showing the Hydra influence the whole time. Alert readers noticed. Oh, those are supposed to be skin-tight superhero onesies.
Yeah.
Not these baggy, I gotta hide my gut.
My evil gut.
Hydra jumpers. And, not for nothing, I've always thought that was sort of the reason why they kind of made Hydra Bob that kind of a gag character.
Yes. Was
the fact that Hydra uniforms traditionally very, very forgiving of the physique. AIM Beehive suits are similarly very forgiving of the physique.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is maybe even in its own way very telling about comic books in general, that villains, they want outfits that are, not too revealing.
I mean, those AIM suits are basically just the beekeeper suit. I mean, I know they always make that joke, but it literally almost just about is.
Yeah, but really, I mean, the only thing that makes the beekeeper suit is the headpiece.
Yeah.
Which, is respirators and things like that. But what you can tell is that it's not a form-fitting superheroic outfit like you usually see in S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like, it's a unitard onesie, blue and white with a gun and a hip and a holster and a thing. And you can see their butt just like they were so much Nightwing.
Oh,
still mad we don't have a Clay Quartermain, but I'm going to allow it. We're saving him for the She-Hulk series.
Maybe, yeah.
But
oh my lord, I love that 70s intro also.
Oh my gosh, that was the best part.
Well,
not the best part. That is how you open up a story. And they've done that. So they've done like serials and then like a little more, they've been playing with that genre, which makes me wonder, well, so we're still in the 70s. So we're definitely going to do another 70s episode next week.
Yeah.
We know that. So it's going to be the same intro, which I love because I love the Clark Gray, Ming Na Wen, and
I love Deke just like does that turn to the camera.
It was a very telling piece. And it is, I don't know if I've ever actually seen that in a 70s action show, and I do watch a lot of them, where they turn to the camera. That was actually more of an 80s trope, I think. Maybe. Turning to the camera. And it's really them turning to a guy in that scene, but it's fun to have it. So I do think that's a little, but again, to show that super advanced world that Hydra has created, But no, it's a great intro. It's a great story, and
so is Deke gonna be Sousa's new friend? Cause it's like it's like I was taken out of my life. Yeah, haven't we all?
Well, I think that the next episode is Sousa's last episode in this series because there are more episodes to come. Yeah, so I think there's going to be another jump, but I think by the end of it, we're gonna fit Sousa with a robot leg, and it would not surprise me if he meets Agent Carter, who tells him she's married. That you actually get a scene where it's like, "Oh, Sousa, but you're supposed to be dead." It's like, "Well, I know. I've been out of time." He's like, "Yes, I have some experience with that." And says, "Peggy, I just wanted to say, I've missed you." It's like, "I've missed you too."
Do you think? Do you think they could go one?
There's a ring on your finger.
Oh yeah.
I don't really want to talk about that right now.
Do you think they could do one better instead of just a leg? Could he get a whole new artificial body? Because in the previews, weren't they talking about transferring minds into was it Chromacon bodies? Or?
Yeah, I mean that, and
unless he's
interesting.
Unless he's mortally injured and they have to do that to save him or something.
We'll have to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
And obviously that's the thing. They might give him the full Chronicon makeover. Transfer his mind into a body, or he is dying, and that's the only way. It's like we'll do a Chronicon transfer. And for what it's worth, that's obviously there's something weird going on with Simmons in this.
Oh yeah, because she didn't know when Deke said, "Oh, you've heard from Bobo," and she's like, "Who?"
Yeah, well, because I get the feeling they're kind of dum-dum-duganing her. If those, readers will remember, Dum-Dum Dugan has been an LMD for years.
Yes.
But his actual existence has been in a tube somewhere. So it's like this remote transfer for it. But I'm guessing she needs Enoch to sort of be the facilitator of that transfer.
Ah.
So that's my guess on that. So we are going to see that, yes, time happened and her and Bobo had their thing, but that she is, maybe, she's like 100 years old now.
Yeah.
In a tube living as Simmons.
Because you two got up. Because my mom's going to be born.
Got to bump lemons. Yeah.
Bump lemons, yes.
I don't know. That's the future. That's the future.
That's a future term.
That's what we'll be saying in the 22nd century. Oh, well, if we just bump lemons, we can create a Deke. Yeah. But, so that was, it was nice. It was good on a lot of levels. It was very good on a lot of levels. I liked, the Project Insight plan. They're going to kill Bruce Banner as a baby.
I know.
Because... and that's the thing. It's like, you kill Bruce Banner as a baby. That doesn't mean there's not going to be a Hulk.
No. And
that just means.
And when they did this in Winter Soldier. And when they did that trick in Winter Soldier, they mentioned, I think, Bruce Banner and Stephen Strange. So why wouldn't you go after Stephen Strange again?
He might not be born yet. I don't know.
You think he's younger than Banner, you think?
That's possible.
Or I could see them saying,
the film came out later, so yeah.
Or they could say, let's kill his mother or something.
Yeah, or they didn't, or maybe the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't think anything weird about Stephen Strange being on there. They would recognize Bruce Banner. They don't know who Stephen Strange is.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
See? Yeah. So they said who they knew. They knew Victoria Hand. They knew...
Oh.
Still no Clay Quarterman.
I know. Oh, hey, you want the gateway for them to pop into the movies? End of the season, the timeline split, they're still lost in time, and maybe in an alternate timeline, pop out in Doctor Strange. Multiverse
of madness. Or along those. I'm still thinking this ends in the. I spilled some apple juice. I still think this ends with the TVA. And I would not be surprised.
Maybe they pop
if
into
they
Loki.
had a day with Chris Evans in old man makeup, where he's like, "Yeah, no, I know what you guys are doing. Yeah, no, I'm aware.
No.
I had a whole talk with the Ancient One and Red Skull, and trust me, I know how this stuff works. Or they'll do what I'd love is you do a whole flashback, and you like tie it all together. Where like Fitz and Steve are like, okay, look, Fitz, let me explain something to you about time travel. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but understand this. This is how it works. This is what it is, and this is what you can and can't do. These are the actual rules of time travel.
Oh my lord! Imagine they jump to like the 80s or something, and Coulson gets to like hang out with Steve Rogers.
Oh, well, or just
have a beer, have a meal.
Well, I mean, honestly, there was nothing preventing him beforehand.
What?
There was nothing preventing him beforehand.
I mean, he quote unquote died in the Avengers movie, and then I think they never really confirmed that they ever told the Avengers that he was alive.
Yeah, although actually it was. I mean, it's subtle, but basically the only person who doesn't know that Steve is still alive is Tony Stark. Everyone else has a reason to know that Steve is still that Coulson is still alive, because as we saw in the first episode, level 7 allows you to know that Coulson is alive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At level 7, and of course Steve and I think Steve, Natasha, and maybe Hawkeye are all already level 7.
Yeah. So
it's like they're and as you saw, Coulson just walks around SHIELD headquarters.
True.
No one. Although for what it's worth, so does Sousa. So no one's betting an eye at Sousa either.
I know. I found that weird in the 70s that they're just like, yeah, no one recognized Sousa.
Well, no one, or they just know. We don't know how often people have been coming back from the dead.
True.
So yeah. Or they think, oh, look at that poser cosplaying as Sousa.
LMD.
Yeah, So that was cool. I mean, it's a good show. It's really pulling out all the stops of the last season.
Oh yeah.
I'm really looking forward to how they handle it.
I did watch that Spider-Man episode with Moon Knight.
Oh, good. I actually didn't get the chance to go back and finish rewatching it.
Oh.
Does Moon Knight have a good scene?
Moon Knight. I mean, yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, basically, Spider-Man teaching him about power and responsibility.
Wait, Spider-Man is teaching Moon Knight about power and responsibility?
Well, he's kind of, I don't know, Moon Knight's kind of bitter because he says he's lost someone, but they never name call out who. But then through Spider-Man's...
Frenchie. It was like he lost Frenchie.
Maybe.
And he can't handle it.
Yeah, because he doesn't say who, or I don't think he doesn't say him, her, so it could, yeah.
They'll bring it back, It's a different time now, Phil.
I know.
They're testing the waters by not gendering it. So.
True.
I don't know who I lost. Could be Stained Glass Scarlet. Could be Frenchie. We don't know yet.
Marlene, anyone. I know.
Yeah, no. I actually, because I said, I'll hop in the shower and I'll watch the rest later. Because my wife was out with the kid, was out with Tristan going to Starbucks. So I said, take some time. I'll come back and leave it running, and I'll come back and I'll catch it. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I saw I saw the first appearance, which is him as a still photo. So I'm part of that, and then we see that the symbiotes have taken over Cloak, which okay.
Yeah, I mean, it basically comes down to Spider-Man and Moon Knight. Yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man and Moon Knight. Well, I'm looking forward to rewatching it, but anyway, sounds good. Honestly, I do like the new Spider-Man stories.
I was going to say, have you been? This is like the third episode. Instead, I don't think they're doing them every week, but they're doing hour episodes when they do them. They used to be like half-hour episodes.
So it's like every couple of weeks, and they're doing 1 hour episodes, and it's sort of like it's basically a setup to be a streaming model for an hour-long series of movie, animated movies. And, and of course it all ties back into the already established Spider-Man universe for this type of Spider-Man at Horizons High School.
But, I mean, they brought in Riri Williams, Ironheart, Hulkling.
It's actually kind of fun. I like all the people they have in it. It's like a really interesting take. I like Riri Williams. I like that she has the not Tony Stark AI. Which makes me wonder, is Tony Stark dead in this universe? Or is...
No, he's in the episode with the symbiotes. I mean, he's taken over,
right.
but
You're right. He is in this. I don't know if he had that or if it's just an AI based on Tony Stark. But I love the idea that she has an AI Tony Stark.
Come on.
That is just annoying.
It's ego. Hey, who's the best person to train you when I'm not around? Me!
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Tony has ego. Hey, you know where Tony has a lot of ego? Avengers Empire.
Number 0. That's 0, right?
Number 0. Yeah, that's the 0. The 0 issue. I guarantee you by 2023, we're going to have an issue -1. Which is actually something I just learned is that the metal universes all have negative numbers.
Oh, yeah, because they're in the dark multiverse, yes.
The dark universe where everything was bad instead, which means life never rebounded after the asteroid hit the Earth. Huh? Okay, well, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. It's
well, I mean,
that's the thing. It's like, oh no, this is the negative universe.
I mean, they did a couple Elseworlds in that dark multiverse, kind of like their version of What If, and everything, every story they told, everything goes to crap. It's like,
Well, yeah, at a certain point later. And that's the thing, it's like, until the year 2020, and then everything went bad. And it's fair enough. Fair enough, DC Comics. Fair enough.
I mean, like they did Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, and Terra basically just slaughters everyone. Deathstroke, the Titans, even Superman, everybody.
Whatever. Okay. Yeah. Which is fine, except that you want to, number it. First off, clearly, if you're numbering something, it is literally an arbitrary numbering.
Yeah, depending on your point of view, yeah.
I mean, that's what's, weird about it. It's so, for example, superheroes die all the time in the Marvel universe. It's the Marvel multiverse. And yes, what if Hank Pym had died? And then, which is actually a pretty neat story where he, gets hit by a truck.
Yeah.
He just isn't fast enough. What if that one time that a truck almost killed him, it actually fell on him? Well, which is one of the things I love about a lot of what ifs. That's how often it is just, what if some just random thing happened, and then it's expanding out from there because that random thing could have happened. Because the superheroes are, if I'd only been half a second slower, I'd have been street meat. It's like, yeah. Well, what if he had been a half a second slower? What would have happened?
Well, that's like Ray just on the end of the night he just did this week. They covered What If 44, what if the Punisher got the Venom symbiote before Eddie Brock, and all it was Punisher got to the church before Eddie Brock.
Okay, and then he's got the Venom, so it's still Venom, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, spoilers. I mean, basically, Punisher basically just uses the symbiote in his war on crime. I mean, there really wasn't too big of differences, except, Frank Castle was the symbiote now, and, the Kingpin ends up dead. But besides that, it's pretty much business as usual.
Well, actually, so the Punisher got good at his job for once.
Yes. And, because he kills Kingpin and Tombstone, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. So there's that. And, of course, some other schmuck, the Owl, then becomes, I guess I'm Kingpin now. Woo!
Well, that's what they say at the end of the story, because Spider-Man's like, we ought to take him in, and Daredevil's like, no, there's going to be a big cry, there's going to be a big gang war now that the Kingpin's dead. Why don't we let him go along his merry way? And basically thin out the herd,
Well, that's actually kind of that's very un-Daredevil-like.
I know.
I was like, well, it's not my sin if I just let everyone else do it. Which, you know what, I'm gonna say this. It's like, well, I'm not the one dancing naked. So I am pure in this moment. And it's like, are you though? Are you? Are you really?
See no evil.
Yeah, lots of evil in the world. But anyway, so that's the Dark Multiverse. I'm not feeling it in general. I just learned this. I'm like, well, that sounds like a poorly thought out idea. You know, it's like if it's a poorly thought out idea, it's a poorly thought out idea.
Well, they just want like dark versions of the kid, like Batman Who Laughs and all that stuff.
But see, Batman Who Laughs was kind of an interesting idea when you actually got into the origins.
Yeah.
Which is this idea, although they weren't like clear. Is it a chemical? Is it a nanobot?
What, that turns him?
Yeah.
He kills the Joker in that universe, and I guess there's like...
No, I know. But then they also say, the chemicals that made him the Joker were eating him away from the inside.
It was like in his heart. It was like pure Joker venom in his heart that did it.
Yeah.
It's been percolating in there,
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad story, no doubt. But it's also like...
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, anytime you ever want to do the story... I think, and this is what we said about Three Jokers in the previous episode, which is you have to watch for that fridge logic. You have to watch for those things that the longer it goes on, the harder it gets to really say, well, was this a good story? Or was this really just sort of, that was a guy who got punched in the face. I do like punching in the face, so that's good too.
Well, I mean, I think it was too. I don't know if they knew that Batman Who Laughs was the one who was going to take off, because like the original event, like Dark Knight's Metal, when they came up with like a bunch of like different Batman. There was one, Red Death, where in that universe, Bruce Wayne stole the Speed Force from Barry Allen.
Yeah, which I think, I don't know, might have been more interesting if he just caught the Speed Force.
Yeah.
But
again, it's the dark universes. It's the dark universe. It's the dark multiverse.
So basically, it's like, what if Bruce Wayne was always just a jerk?
Oh yeah, all those ones.
Then then he gets the chance to have power. So it's basically, these are all universes based off of that first universe where Batman is, the Midnight Mink, and if he is the Midnight Mink, then he is just a bad guy, and I don't want to get into a whole thing with the Midnight Mink.
I just think that's why maybe the Batman Who Laughs origin isn't as fleshed out, because they didn't know that was the one that was going to hit it big. So at that point, they're like, I thought
it was very well fleshed out.
Yeah.
I just thought that, I thought that the idea. So I like the idea that there was something in the Joker that was the reason he was the Joker, that had been eating away for years, and then as he dies, that's something that comes out into him. I guess what bothers me is the idea that no one notices it before that moment. Because, not for nothing, they do telegraph it to the audience.
Well, again, literally, they say it was inside his heart. So I don't know if I'm trying to remember. I don't know if Batman stabs him in the heart.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, Clark should have realized, oh, dude, since I have this, microscopic vision, man, there's something wrong with you, dude. So let's get you to a doctor. Let's get you fixed. Let's get Dr. Fate in here.
I'm trying to remember. Was the Joker? I don't know if the Joker was even dying. I think it was just he did something so horrendous. Batman kills him.
Well, he does do something very horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
But at least, honestly, I've not read this. It's just what Casually Comics told me. Sasha over at Casually Comics, who does these reviews, and she is not 100% accurate. So I will say that. I'll caveat that this is based on reviews by Sasha at Casual Comics. Find it on YouTube. Like and subscribe, because I enjoy it, and I do. But, but what it is Clark basically explains to Bruce he was dying. That the chemicals in him for so long, and that's why he did this. That's why he went to the next level, because he knew that would get you to kill him.
Yeah.
Because you have all the kid Jokers, and
yeah, it's been a while since I read that. Let's read that again.
Yeah, but anyway, and yeah, so I mean, I've gained much more respect for the Dark Joker or the Batman Who Laughs in that story. I just didn't like the idea that they were going to number it as negative, as universe negative 22.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like, we don't want to actually admit that we're just acknowledging a multiverse.
Yeah.
We want our universes to be, clean and pristine. It's like, why?
Well, I mean, it's basically just imagine an equator, and all those dark ones are south of the equator, you know.
But why is that in and of itself darker than the universe we live in?
Because I don't know, because it twists all the good in the and every other universe, and it's
but
evil
is
there.
That much good in the universe? This is what I always say. It's like, the real shock is that we're gonna meet our doppelganger, and we're gonna find that we're from the evil alternate universe. That's just the truth. We are in the evil alternate universe.
Oh my lord! I saw the best theory the other day. They're like, 2020 just seems like a time traveler came back to try to fix things, but every time he tries, he just makes stuff worse.
Yeah.
Like he fixed the murder hornets, where those disappeared.
The murder hornets were never a problem from the start with,
because the time traveler fixed them, but he made something else worse.
Dude, you see, that's the thing. See, this is just a reboot of 1978, Killer Bees and Swine Flu. I was there. I was 4, but I've seen the reruns. This is just a reboot of that universe. Okay, oh my gosh, we're in the DC universe. They just keep on rebooting and rebooting and rebooting.
This is the modern version of that classic storyline they did in '78.
Yeah, the classic. Remember when the Killer Bees and the swine flu were working together? What if COVID and the murder hornets were working together?
This time we try to kill them with 5G.
Gosh. Did that event ever happen? Why did they call it 5G again?
Because it was a generational thing. I don't know if that's happening now, because a lot of that was taken out of the solicits. It was the pet project, I think, of Dan Dido, and he's gone. So
that was it just was a weird name.
Yeah. I mean, it was the pet project of someone who's not there anymore, and then I don't think the reception to it was too good. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's off the table.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so that's DC.
Oh, but you were talking about Avengers Empyre?
Yeah, because this is where we learned where Alan Moore came up with the idea for his Swamp Thing. He basically rebooted Swordsman.
Yeah.
And the idea is, what if a plant had the mind of a man? It's like, you mean like Marvel did, a few years before you did it? Like, yes, exactly. I'm going to do it cool with a better artist. And he'll be a scientist. Yeah, so the Cody have done a whole thing, and the Cody are obviously evil because they're nice, and as Brian Conan reminded me of, everyone who's nice in Perry Mason is always the real killer. And as I pointed out to him, well, that's also the formula for Columbo. It's like, yeah, it actually is the formula for Columbo. But, in Columbo, we knew it going in.
I mean,
in Perry Mason, it was weird that everyone was nice who was the real murderer, because we didn't know who the real murderer was until the end.
Yeah. I mean, the Cody have been up to stuff in the past. I mean, didn't they try to, kidnap Manus's baby?
Yeah, well, the Cody have always been... That's the thing. Assuming the Cody were peaceful because they grew plants is as ridiculous as saying the Kree were peaceful because they built things.
Well, Tony Stark's having these dreams, so is he maybe getting mentally manipulated or something?
He's freaking existentialist hippie, Tony Stark. I mean, this reboot of Tony Stark is not working for me. It's like, am I really Tony Stark, or am I just his memories in a clone body? And he needs to have a sit down with Otto Octavius and says, yes, you are the memories in a clone body. I don't know what is hard here. Who are you but your memories? You're in a clone body now.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
Did you read Iron Man 2020 this week?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, basically,
I debated,
Yeah, basically, he meets up with Friday in the East Cape, and she's just like, no, you are the real Tony Stark. Shut up. She's like, we're gonna get you, your DNA and clone you, something close to your original body, but.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like, all I am is these data points. It's like, what do you think I am? Yeah. It's like, what am I? Except I am a pro. And this was, me and Maz had a whole discussion about this last week on, I want to say, Enough Said, which is this idea that, yeah, you know what? Whether or not the interface is the smallest portion of the AI. That the AI, the gut in the AI, the thing that's communicating, that's making decisions, is so much more than that interface.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the interface and say, well, but all I'm doing is responding to the data coming from the program, it's like, what do you think you did before? You know, why do you think that your lips flapped in a certain way and your larynx did a thing and your lungs exhaled? It's not because you said, I will now expel 4.3 ounces of air out of my lungs across my larynx, which I will vibrate in this way, and I will make my lips make this movement, and that will make the sound that I desire. No, you didn't do that consciously. You did that unconsciously because who you are is in the program, and that interface that you and I have, that is what we call the AI. But the AI is just the trick we pull on ourselves.
The midlife crisis.
Well, the any life crisis.
But I just love how like Dan Slott's writing that in Iron Man 2020, and it just seems like, because in that book Arno's like running around as Iron Man now. Every other book they just ignored that. Like Avengers, Tony. We haven't seen anything with Arno being Iron Man. Tony's been Iron Man the whole time.
Yeah, well, because
every other book, Black Cat, Tony Stark's still Iron Man. I mean,
because no one knows who Arno is, and Arno is probably, it's sort of like how you talk about,
I know, but it's just like it's Dan Slott, but it's like meanwhile when he hit a home run with Otto as Superior Spider-Man, they couldn't wait to put Superior Spider-Man in every book, but yeah, not here.
Well, yeah, because at the end of because not for nothing. Superior Spider-Man, better character.
Oh, yeah.
More interesting.
Oh, definitely.
More complex, and in its own way. So here's the thing. When Otto became Peter, he was still Peter.
Yeah.
He wasn't pretending to be Arno Stark, And
it was just good.
So in this situation...
It was just good storytelling.
Yeah, well, but it is the situation where it's that in Iron Man 2020 you have Tony as Mark I or whatever he's calling himself. Yeah. And you have Arno and you have this whole thing, which is probably just a whole West Coast thing. That's why we don't go there for superheroing anymore. You guys are crazy. Please just let Otto handle it. No. Otto wanted it. Let Otto handle it, we're going to stay in New York where the real people are. Even when they're synthetic or completely cloned robots, we don't care. We're actually not going to be all wound up in an existential crisis about whether or not we're real. It's like, I don't know. Are you eating a pastrami sandwich? Are you sitting your butt down? Then you're a real person. That's literally all that counts. Do you feel you're real? Do you feel reality? If not, maybe eat less things that are not pastrami sandwiches.
All right, you're killing me. Let's do Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, Immortal Hulk. Okay, yeah. The Empyre. I really liked Empyre, but yeah, the Cody are definitely evil.
Yeah.
Which is very heavily telegraphed. Because you know what? Because Carol Danvers knows they're evil. Tony Stark thinks they're not maybe evil. But Tony Stark is clearly nuts the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Samuel Stearns and his adventures becoming smarter. And how it's not good to be so smart that you think you're smarter than everyone else. Which is one of my favorite things about this, is the implication that the leader understood, oh man, I'm so smart, I don't know that I'm not. I'm so smart, I don't know I'm an idiot. And so maybe if I went back to being an idiot and made myself figure out how to be smart again, I'd actually get smarter. Mm-hmm. I'd actually earn my intelligence. Which is, for what it's worth, the basic crux of the Jurassic Park thing. You were so worried about whether or not you could, you never thought if you should. And to what it's worth, that's sort of what Samuel Stearns is going through here. He's like, oh man, I can figure out anything, but maybe I should figure out how to do it, how to earn it, how to work myself back to be intelligent. I love that, again, everything counts. So, Red Leader, going to Mephisto, making a deal with him, all completely part of the story.
Middletown, all of it.
Middletown, yeah. And in that is the suggestion of the green door. He sees the green door. He wants to get to. He wants to know what it is he's seeing. What keeps on kicking him back?
Yep.
Which also suggests that real soul as a physical property that can then enter the clone.
Mm.
You know, it's an interesting question when you ask when you look at it metaphysically. You know, does Otto see the green door each time, or has Otto, because he is just a genius, has already cracked it? So because Otto is a computer programmer. He didn't care why the door was there. He just knows the door is there. That's the door. I'm going through the door. I don't care if there's a green door with one beneath all things. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. This is the door. Thank you. I'm going through the door. He didn't get hung up on the metaphysical and philosophical concepts. Otto just said, that's the door. I'm going through the door. Thank you. Been nice. Figured out how to do that. I'm moving to the door. So that's good.
But I mean, I love that Al Ewing's tying everything together with these characters. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I hate it when I like a past storyline and writers just choose to ignore stuff or just no, we're doing this. Al Ewing's tying everything in Hulk history.
Honestly, I'm so happy about this version of it because after the other Hulk story and
Roxxon, yeah.
I don't need any more. I get my fill of Roxxon from Peggy Carter. Okay. Roxxon does not need to be on my radar any more than it already is. And yes, I know, they're an evil corporation. It's fine, they're an evil corporation.
I think Roxxon was a speed bump. Al Ewing's I don't want to get to hell this quick, so hey, let's throw a speed bump in. Oh, Roxxon.
Yeah. Well, we've already been to hell.
Who's free?
Now we need the leader to explain to us what it was where we were. And, and to that extent, I'm hoping they do make a point about Samuel Sturms actually having an autistic savant quality, which was revealed in the Thunderbolts idea, which was this idea that, yes, Samuel Sturms was not, socially or intellectually intelligent, but that he had this perfect mind for finding the patterns and the structures and things, and to hide things and to have this system, to create and find systems that navigate these pathways. Which, again, feeds into this idea that, what if Samuel Sturms, because that's who he was, didn't understand his power, but then once he understood his power, knew, I should depower myself so that I can actually grow as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Which is such a beautiful idea, even when it's used for evil. It's I can become a better villain if I just work my way up from the bottom and be a better villain. Which is, honestly a beautiful story there. I'm enjoying it. And this was probably my favorite Immortal Hulk story for the last few. I mean, honestly, the last one was okay. It was a redemption after everything. I could definitely have done with more Absorbing Man. But, I know they don't want to give the magic away for him yet. Honestly, they don't want to define his powers because undefined powers are much more fun.
Yeah.
It's much more fun if someone would say, well, the reason he can do this is because of this, and this. Just saying enough, his powers are magic-based. It's fine, sure, we'll go along with it because we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares if your science is magic-based or your magic is science-based. No one really cares. They just want to have the fun of the story. So that's good. But, I like that we get a shout-out to Stern's brother, Madman, in this, who also becomes a Hulk later. Even though he wasn't at the test site, so arguably should not be able to infuse gamma power. But having Stearns there was, in fact, a retcon later. So the Hulk has a lot of retcons, is what we're saying.
Yeah, the brother was experimenting on himself because I think in that original Countdown story they said that he wanted to turn himself into another version of the Hulk.
Well, yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to be a Hulk? You know? Even Stearns is obsessed with Banner once he has his intelligence, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, obviously, Banner is meant to be the thing. We see that Stearns is the one who guides Banner's dad back to Earth. Because he essentially wants to send a probe. You know? I'm not going to do that myself, but hey, why don't you go back? See what you can do. See what you can do, kid. If you die, I'll know that didn't work. Oh. But what else is Stearns going to do? Anyway, yeah. I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was good. Do you have anything you want to say on the subject?
No, like I said, I enjoyed the story. The artwork really didn't do much for me, but yeah, I mean.
Really? I loved the artwork.
Oh, really? I don't know. I mean.
I actually thought the artwork was slipping. Like the whole white fuzzy Hulk. I don't want a Yeti Hulk.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. None of it worked for me. He was also like, "Oh, I'm a machine, but I eat things." And it's there's too much mixing of genres in that old Silver Age character. I didn't need him brought back.
I was a different penciler this issue. I didn't enjoy the art as much. Yeah, the white fuzzy Hulk was weird, but I love the penciling those last couple issues. Yeah.
Well, to each their own. I really felt the pencils and the ink worked for this. I loved how they really embraced all of the different genres and styles of the entire length of it.
Mm-hmm.
Although, what I also will say in that is they never really aped the style. So, it's like when we even get our first Samuel Stearns, it is the classic Stearns origin. It is.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it's in a more modern style. You have him like, even this scene. This scene is from the original origin of the leader, where he sees himself and he's got the green skin and the enlarged forehead.
Yeah.
Looking at in the mirror. That's from the original run, which I don't even remember which episode it was, but still. They are grabbing those things and then they're remaking them. And I love the artwork, but that's me. I'm not an artwork guy. I don't marry myself to the artwork, but when you have a good story and really competent artwork, then I'm going to say the artwork was great. Because the artwork at no point took me out of the story.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to feed into the story, tell the story, the same way that the writer tells the story.
Yeah.
And so, for me, it was great. But yeah, that was that. And, hey, can we talk about Stargirl real quick here?
Yeah.
Since we didn't talk about that on Capes and Lunatics.
Sure.
I'm really disappointed in Chuck. I felt that, okay, he saw the gambler was the one hacking the thing. But at no time does Chuck say, but, of course he's not going to be there. Or even, while they're doing this, we should probably deal with Chuck because that's the real threat. Like, as an AI, he kind of drops the ball on this.
I mean, did the gambler have something that maybe he could confuse that? So if anyone tried to track him, it would bounce a false signal? I don't know. Well, yeah, definitely the gambler set it up so that... And I do think the gambler is the brains of the outfit. I'm going to say that right now. I don't think Icicle is. I think Icicle says, this is what I want to do. And I was like, well, then here's what you got. Here's how you're going to go about it. Here's the strategy. I think that's what the gambler is doing. And so I think when the gambler is saying to them, you guys need to suit up because I need you to do this. And I think he is expressly making Tigress and Sportsmaster, who got no love for Sportsmaster. He needs a crowbar. I would take the crowbar from Punchline. Say, no, Harley, that's not for her. And just take that to Sportsmaster. He's a bully. He's a jock. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that he's a
bully.
Yeah.
Both him and his wife, because it's like in the beginning they kill they kill the football coach who benches their daughter. I mean, it's
which is like, you're not helping. Honestly, here's what I'm gonna say: freaking the magician guy.
Mm-hmm.
did way less than these guys. And this is like their fourth coach or something.
Yeah.
It's like, we just murder people. We're the bad guys. It's like, dude, okay, you're not helping the story. You're not really advantageous to us. I think it's time you maybe died. Because arguably Icicle's supposed to be the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, freaking Brainwave was a big bad. And both of these guys is like, no, you're dead. They killed the freaking magician,
I know.
So it's and yet the gambler still lives. So I guess the gambler's saying, no, don't take him off the board yet. Don't take him off the board yet. I think they're about to go off the board because literally they are cannon fodder. They are literally being put in there so that they can test what the new JSA is. They can beat the JSA in the first fight. This is like when Otto first faces Peter. Empyre has never faced a real supervillain before. And, Otto beats him up and then says, I am fine. The die is cast. I have no more use of you. And then moves about his business. And then Peter learns how to be a better superhero and then goes kicks Otto's butt. I think that's what's going to happen to Sportsmaster and Tigress.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both going to get their butts handed to them next episode because, maybe if we worked as a team, we could get better. And they've already established this idea that until Brainwave wakes up, they can't do anything with their plan to hack the satellites. So they've hacked the satellites. Now what? Well, we can't send the mind control ray on everyone until, somebody else does something. So, although perhaps they're going to say, oh, now you, little child, will become the brilliant, psionic. But I think he's actually going to rebel, so I think that's going to be a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of villains joining the heroes and heroes joining the villains by the end of this. Just looking at everybody's character arc. In fact, I will bet you Dr. Midnight, by the end of this, Beth may do a heel turn.
Oh.
Because she is so treated bad by the heroes.
Maybe.
No matter how much use she shows,
mm-hmm.
she may say, you know what? Now that we're not trying to take over the world, maybe I actually want to be a bad guy. And I'm kind of sick of everyone stepping on me and saying I'm not important,
mm-hmm.
including my own dang parents.
Mm-hmm.
So Beth is primed for a heel turn. So mark my words, we're going to get a possible heel turn arc with Beth. Maybe she'll turn all the way, maybe she won't. But that heel turn is written. Obviously, our man, who I'm a big bully, he's going to be a better guy by the end of it, And Wildcat's fine. And of course, Stargirl's fine too. But, I still want to see who gets the Green Lantern. I want my Green Lantern.
Yes.
I want my Can't Affect Wood Green Lantern. And I do want to see the brother get the Thunderbolt. Because I want to see the Thunderbolt. I want to see a fifth dimensional imp.
Mm-hmm. I
want to see how that storyline plays out. But I'm enjoying Stargirl in and of itself. Though I often have a lot of. It's a little teen angsty. I'm going to be honest.
Well, yeah, it's teenagers.
It's like it's. Here's what I will say: it is more Riverdale than Smallville, and you can fight me on that, Lilith. I will take up the trivia contest with you, but I do feel that it has way more Riverdale than it has Smallville. I think Smallville had much more nuance than this, and I think this does have some weaknesses in its nuance, but that's my theory. I don't know. We can talk about Song of the South. I mean, you want to end it here?
Yeah, please. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's long. It's 11 o'clock. Phil and I both need to go to bed. We will talk Song of the South on Splash Mountain later, and several other items, including no more white people playing black people on Simpsons on a future episode, maybe if we remember. but it's something I would like to talk about.
Well, I have them written down, so I'll just leave it right here. So next week, we can pick up.
Save it for next week.
Yes.
In the meantime, Philip, you're a smart guy, right?
Maybe.
I think you're pretty smart. I think you might even be a great detective.
Ooh.
And, Philip, detectives are wanted. Do you know where detectives are wanted, Philip? Detectives are, in fact, needed.
Hunt a Killer?
Over at huntakiller.com, private investigator Michelle Gray needs your help to solve a cold case. And if you would like to go over to huntakiller.com, a sponsor of this and many other fine shows here on the Southgate Media Group and Capes and Lunatics conglomerate, Michelle Gray needs your help, man. I mean, honestly, she's got a lot of cases she's working on. She's pulled in a lot of different directions. Honestly, she needs the help. So why don't you go over to huntakiller.com, see what she needs, see if you can help her out. Help her find this killer. People are being killed fictionally, and only you and Michelle Gray can solve that problem. I don't know how many of these clues that she's going to give you are going to be audio-based, but if any are, let me just say you're going to want to hear those audio clues on tweaked audio headsets so that you get the full panoply of sound, because there is probably some completely obscure sound way in the background that you're going to have to isolate and enhance like we did in the 80s, and find that sound to take you to the next clue. So that's my recommendation to you. Feel free to ignore it. But if you do want tweaked audio headsets or anything else, go down to our show notes, because there's a link to Amazon, and everything you need is on Amazon.
Yep.
They'll find it for you. They're really customer service oriented over there, meaning that if they have to go to like 3 other sites to get it to you, they will go to those 3 other sites and charge a premium. But they did the work, so give them their due. Our link is in the show notes to Amazon.com. You click on that; that's going to take you there. Rob will get a shekel, and we'll get his undying love, and you'll buy your things. Costs you nothing. Saves the entire Southgate Media Group network. And while you're there, you may want to pick up Pod Life the book, which is available both in Kindle form and in hard paper copy form. Though I'm going to imagine those paper copy forms are a limited printing, so you may want to get those while they last. And that tells you the story of how people get into podcasting, why people get into podcasting, and even where people get into podcasting. It's all the questions answered about podcasting. And if that's something that interests you because you listen to podcasts, you might want to pick it up. And that's all of our sponsors. So, Philip, if someone would like to talk to you about our sponsorships or how they could sponsor the show, or if they could go to Patreon, throw money at something and what they might get, which is, incidentally, a Star Trek podcast.
Yes.
That Phil and I and Lilith and many others on the Capes and Lunatics networks are putting out there. Our first episode is already available regarding the first episode of Discovery, Watch Where You Put Your Car. So go to Patreon, look that up, see what we're doing there, and certainly help us out. But if they would like to talk to you about that, Philip, how can they reach out to you and talk to you about our Patreon premiums?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is capesandlunatics@gmail.com. I call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And links to everything are at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
And, of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our moms and pops once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter, because right now I'm live tweeting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is really a show you should not be sleeping on, @Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's right there in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Moz. That was my spoken word version. I really haven't done one of those yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another wonderful show. I'm glad you listened. I'm happy you listened. I'm proud you listened. Why don't you come back next week and super connect with us again? Good night.
Good night.
Oh, hey, call 614-382-2737.
I said that.
614-38-CAPES. You said that? Well, I don't know. I'm a little drunk right now, Philip. I'll be honest with you.
A little.
A little.
Call the number.
But my cholesterol's good.
I was going to say, call 911 for Charlie Esser's liver.
Do not call 911. That is, do not make false claims.